Good morning, everybody. Inviting you to take this time to join me and have us all spiritually align and connect in prayer. If you can find a place to get still. Just finding that place of gratitude within you right now. Inviting you to think of something or someone that you always get a smile with. And say thank you for that person or that place or that thing. For just putting out joy into the world. Thank you, God. Thank you for this day exactly like it is. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to step forward into it and being all that we can be in the moment. We have the power, we have the love, we have the joy, for we are one with God. We are one with all people. We are one with all life. We are one with the one. And with that, we let it be well. We let it be so. And so it is. Amen. All right. I'm going to invite you all to stand and sing our call to worship song. This is the last round of it for this year. And so I really invite you to, when you're singing these words, to really think about them and claim them for yourself and claim this truth for yourself and all the good that comes within that. All right, let's sing. And if y'all want to join Anita in that, there are more things over there. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thoughts that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my life. If you ask me who am I am wisdom, I am light, I am more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my life. If you ask me what am I am beauty, I am joy, I am more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my life. I can choose to be the light and brighten someone's darkest night. I'm so much more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my life. I have the power to change my life. I have the power to change my life. Woohoo! All right, everybody. My turn.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Maria, and I'm going to be your worship assistant today. Welcome home to Unity in Greensboro. Now I'm going to invite you to take a look at a neighbor and repeat after me. Good morning.
Good morning.
I love you this morning.
I love you this morning.
And I sure do appreciate you being here.
And I sure do appreciate you being here.
For those of you at home watching, please know that we're saying that to you as well. And we invite you to write it in the comments and to also help us grow this loving spiritual community by liking, subscribing, commenting, posting, all of those things to all of our social media sites. Now I'm going to invite you to join me in reading the affirmations for August together. I am willing to be led by God in all I think, say, and do. I will live as the light of the world. Now, for today's reading, the daily word. And the word is glory. I celebrate the glory of God in myself and all others. Magnificence, radiance, and tremendous power. These are all inspiring qualities that describe the glory of God. Because I am a living expression of spirit, these glorious attributes are also part of my spiritual nature. In the peace of prayer, exquisite awareness of God's glory fills my mind and heart. Everyone is God's living expression, a reflection of divine glory, just as I am. Even when my limited human perception has not yet perceived it, my faith shows me this truth about every person I meet. As my awareness of glory within awakens, spiritual wisdom, understanding, and love teach me to cooperate with all who are seeking to build greater harmony, abundance, and compassion among all humankind and the world's creatures. In John 17:22, we read, "The glory that you have given me, I have given them, so that they may be one, as we are one." And Wally's going to come up next.
I'm currently rewriting the script. So, Phoenix, you can come on up. I just want today is what we're just calling Membership Day, and we're celebrating that in various different ways. And part of that's going to be in sharing stories. That eventually, I'm going to invite you all to share a story, at least amongst yourselves. And so we're going to start by hearing from one of our youngest members, not the youngest probably, but one of the youngest members. Here you go, Phoenix Harris.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. As Wally said, I am one of the youngest members and one of the newest members. And I think that I made a great decision to become a member because for a while I was just kind of showing up to the youth program every couple of Sundays because my mom was showing up and I would only come with her. And in the past, I think the first time I filled out the form was last year, maybe? Maybe. But when I filled out the membership form, it was really, at first, just Miranda handing me a piece of paper and saying, hey, sign this, you get a vote. And then I'd never used it to vote on anything. But now, I am just finishing up my summer internship. I've been here every Sunday, and it's really made me come to realize just how meaningful of a space and meaningful of a community this is. Not just to me and seeing how it has worked in my life, but seeing the way that it works in everyone's life in this room. Seeing all of y'all every Sunday and at events and etc. It's great. It's great to see. And I had the opportunity to go to IY, International YOU, in July. And that was, I think, the moment that it really clicked for me what unity is about and how it works in, not just the lives of all of the teenagers and the YOUers, but also the lives of all of the adults and the sponsors, both here in the church and just in the national, worldwide scale. So that was, yeah. I didn't write anything down. I wanted it to be from the soul, if you couldn't tell. But yeah, I love this community and this church, and I think that it is a really wonderful part of the community for not just all of the adults who have been here for years, sorry, lost my train of thought for a second. Not just for the adults who have been here for years, or the teenagers who have been here since they were kids, but just every person, every new person that I've seen come into it, every person that I've seen come, like, interact with it, even not to come to church, but just in any way interact with unity or the principles. I've only ever seen it make a positive impact.
So there's a lot of things that I think that we do that's unique and special here at the church, but one of them is that through Miranda's encouragement, I think a couple of years ago, maybe 3, something like that, we, as a congregation, voted to change the bylaws to allow a voting membership to start at 16, so that they really have an opportunity to claim their own ownership of being a part here, right? What? Oh, we don't have an age on it? Oh, Miranda says high school. I don't know I'll have to go back and reread the bylaws. You'd think I'd know them by now. I've read them a lot. But anyway, we dropped the age down because we really want the youth to, know their ownership and their true membership of being here. And I think that's a wonderful thing. So now is a time that we call youth blessing, and often that's when we're sending the youth down the hall. The teenagers have chosen to stay in here with us today, but I also like in this time for us to all recognize that we're going to Sunday school, that's why we showed up here, is to get to that place of adding maybe a little enlightenment or some encouragement or just picking up something and mostly joining together in that like-mindedness of the truth and celebrating the truth that we know and love. And so I invite you all to say to each other and to yourself this with me. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you, and we behold the Christ within you. And so now is our time to acknowledge people who are on the prayer list and do a little meditation. And so I take this time to first tell you that if you have any prayer requests at any point, there are sheets that this beautiful box lives on the back table except during service. And so there are sheets back there that you can fill out. On there towards the bottom, if you have names that you want us to read during this time or list on the e-blasts that go out during the week. I think I'm going to change that name, by the way. I always call it e-blast, but I heard somebody talk about a sunshine list this week, and I was like, ooh, I like that, shining light on what we're doing. It's going to be a sunshine newsletter. Anyway, so if you want a name in that or us to say it here, we ask you to write that down separately so that we don't just automatically read people's names out without permission, because some people like private prayers and some people like public prayers. And so same thing, you can go on to our website and click the prayer request, and you can fill a form out there. And I don't know, is there some other way? Those are the two main ways. Or you can just ask a chaplain that's here in the room to pray with you today. And I see 4 of us, at least 5 of us. that you can, there's a prayer room here. We got another space here and down the hall. If you'd like to pray about anything, it can be celebratory. You don't have to be dying. It can just be like, I want to celebrate something, or, whatever. It's always good to connect in prayer, and to do it with other people who have studied it is even kind of cooler. So I invite you to join me in closing your eyes if that's comfortable, finding a soft gaze otherwise, focusing in on your breath. God is. I am. God is. I am. God is. I am. As we acknowledge that spirit, that energy, that power that is within us, it begins to tingle around our bodies, saying, yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm ready to work with you in partnership. Yes, I'm ready to manifest and help create wonderful things in our lives, worlds, and affairs. That loving, peaceful, joyous, healing energy is flowing through us, to us, for us, and as us. As us. For we are one with God. We are the hands and feet of God. The work that we see in the world that needs to be done, we are the ones to step forward with and as God to help, to offer that peace and love and joy. And I invite you to think of anyone in your life who you would like to send out a peaceful affirmation of love, joy, power, strength, zeal, life. And with that, we join together affirming already the wholeness, the perfection, the completeness for whatever is going on for Dylan Rollo, for Theo Rollo, for Seth Henderson, for Lori Dishman, for the loved ones that we have all thought of right here in this room, in this moment. We see the light shining as them, around them, through them, from them. That bright, beautiful, peaceful, and powerful light. And as we see it within our loved ones, we feel it within ourselves, for we can't see it other than being a part of it. And so now we recognize that light shining around us, through us, and to us. For we are the light of the world. And with that, we go into the silence for a moment. And as we bring our attention back into the room, I invite you to bring that energy in with you so that we all may bathe in it and meditate in it as we go into joyful celebration together. This is a wonderful, magnificent, creative day. And so it is. Amen.
So most of us in here at least know Anita Shaver, but I get the opportunity to introduce her, and she's accompanied today by Linda Dunn, I guess? Yeah. Okay. Oh, and Robert, what was the last name? Oberg. So I'll let Anita announce them as I read her bio. Anita began singing at the age of 3, and we can tell. She would entertain her grandmother's customers standing on a piano bench while her grandmother sold milk and butter from her home. Additionally, she has been a member of Unity in Greensboro always? 28 years? Well, you need to update that. It says 23. 28 years. She knows this because of the age of her children who were raised in Unity. Anita Shaver.
Thank you. I remember the first day I came, Victor met me on the sidewalk, and I had a little baby in a sling, and he is 28. That's how we know. We're going to do Let It Grow. And I'd like to introduce my music partner, Robert Goldberg. He and I sing at rest homes in the area. And we have a big time. We try to pick songs that we know they will know the words to.
It's a sing-along.
Yes. So we sing in the park sometimes over at Bicentennial Park, but we haven't lately, but we will. As soon as it gets cool. We love to sing, but we love to be cool, too. And then, of course, we have our groovy chick, Linda Dunn. She's playing the piano for us, and we have had a good time picking out songs and stuff. This song is from the album by Eric Clapton, 461 Ocean Boulevard. And I didn't know, what were you telling me about it?
So Eric Clapton had, some trouble with drugs, and the address of this 461 Ocean Boulevard was the home in Los Angeles that he was when he was recovering. So he named the album after where he was recovering.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but I was 14 when it came out, so this is 50 years old. That makes me feel old to say that.
Don't say that.
But anyway, for you young people who are interested in music, Phoenix, I'm talking to you, look up Eric Clapton and get into some of his music.
All right.
Standing at the crossroads, trying to read the signs to tell me which way I should go to find the answers. And all the time I know, plant your love and let it grow. Let it grow, let it grow. Let it blossom, let it flow. In the sun, the rain, the snow. Love is lovely. Let it flow.
Looking for a reason to check out on my mind. Trying hard to get a friend that I can count on. There's nothing left to show. Plant your love and let it grow.
Let it grow, let it grow.
Let it blossom, let it flow.
In the sun, the rain, the snow.
Love is lovely.
Let it grow, let it grow. Time is getting shorter. There's much for you to do. Only ask and you will get what you are needing. The rest is up to you. Plant your love and let it grow. Sing with us. Let it grow,
let it grow. Let it blossom, let it flow. In the sun, the rain, the snow. Love is lovely.
let it grow. One more time.
Let it grow, let it grow. Let it blossom, let it flow. In the sun, the rain, the snow. Love is lovely. Let it grow.
Let it grow.
Thanks, everybody.
And if you have a yard and you try and pull weeds, from your pretty flower beds and stuff, I'm currently talking to myself because I've been ignoring it for a while. But, that's a clear indication growing happens naturally, and we just have to allow it to flow through us, right? Let it grow and let it flow. Just willingly be a part of the flow, right? And so today, as our membership Sunday, this isn't just talking about people and the church even. There's a lot of ways in recognizing membership and recognizing many different pieces of a whole, right? We teach at Unity the 12 powers. Those 12 powers are basically 12 pieces of the Christ that is within us. Those are 12 different ways of expressing our spiritual power, even though one of them is power, right? And all the different pieces, right? And you don't have to have them memorized. I do, though. But I sing them I really studied them, and when I was in my choir out in Los Angeles, we would wear the color of the month, so then I had shirts in all 12 colors and all that. And so all that stuff had if you don't remember a color, does it matter? No. If you have the color, can you use it as an added celebration? Yes. Does it matter if you know every disciple? No. If you use that and you tie it in and look into why this disciple represents the power, does that give you something extra to celebrate? Yes. There are all these different pieces of you. Love, peace, and joy has come up a lot for me today. Those are all different pieces of us. Those are all members of within us as individuals. And when we recognize that, it's the same thing here if we wanted to hand out a trophy. I don't have any trophies today. Sorry, Pat. I don't have any trophies, but if we were handing out a trophy, if we were having that moment of celebration, a couple of months ago when Miranda and I got to stand up here and be celebrated, it feels good to be recognized, to be seen, to feel like you're being heard. That's all true, and we're going to do some of that for the people in this church now. But know that if you're having an off day and you don't feel happy and you're like, I wish I was some of that joyous that they were talking about at church the other day, start by affirming it and acknowledging that it is within you, and then asking yourself, can I feel the joy that is within me? I'm going to start by acknowledging that there is joy within me. And this piece of you that you're singling out for that moment gets to step up and be like, oh, wow, yeah. And then you get to use it because you found it in your toolbox. I don't know if any of you have organized toolboxes or whether you have to dig around in them like me, right? But then you find it, and then you get to use it. And that's the same thing of all your powers, not just the 12 powers that Unity teaches, but all the good and God aspects of each and every single one of us. And you have them all. Just because you've not been using it doesn't mean you don't have it. You have it to use in some way. That's not to say that tough times don't come flowing through, and that we don't go through some stuff. We don't teach anything here that prevents you from having a challenge, but we teach a lot of stuff here that gives you some tools to help you at least climb onto a boat in the middle of the flooding storm instead of having to swim and paddle, right? So in this moment, well, one thing I want to add into it before I invite Pat up is there's a lot of cool different phases of history of this church, and this church is relatively young in comparison to some of the churches I've visited in the last year or so. And yet there's so many wonderful different pieces of the history of how it's flown through, right? And I think that having a minister in a church is of great value. But also, here's a cool thing to know. As far as I know, and trust me, the moment that one person steadfastly tells me this is the absolute truth of the history of how this worked, somebody else can come on this side and say, no, this is how that, right? So, but the largest congregation that this church ever had was when they didn't have a minister, because everybody had to pull together. See, when you've got somebody on staff, you know, it's easy to say, oh, well, Wally can do that, or Miranda can do that, or Mia can do that. And it's like, this place runs by everybody doing it because this is your place. People have a bad habit of calling the church, you know, that's Wally's church. I still sometimes say, well, I went to Della's church in L.A. In that case, she did fund an awful lot of it. I don't fund this church, right? So, I mean, I give my piece, right? But I don't fund, you know, it's like, and this is everybody's church. And in that time when there wasn't a minister here, everybody stepped up just to keep the ship rolling. I'm going to say, Pat can correct me when she gets up here in a second, that nobody set out in that moment to say, oh, well, Catherine's gone. Let's finally grow this place, right? It was, let's pull together and keep this place going because we love it and we get so much from it. And everybody stepped up and participated in a way that it became a brighter magnet that brought even more people in. When people come and they just want to come, if you just come on Sunday to sit here and listen to stuff and then get out as quick as you can and don't come again till next Sunday, if you get something out of that, I bless you and I'm glad that you found us and you're here. But at that point, it's almost just a show that you're coming to. It's in participating and really being a part of the flow that this place is and the wonderfulness that this place is. But that power is within each and every one of you. And that's when that stepped up, that's when this place grew the most. When we talk about challenges, and we're in the midst of starting to find a new home, and we're going to talk about that more right after service today, that, you know, then it's like, oh, well, we need more money. Oh, well, we just need more people. Well, more people in and of itself is not a guarantee of more money. Frankly, it just requires us to buy more seats for the extra butts in the room, right? And most people, when they show up at first to something like Unity, it's so new to them, they got to take time to marinate in it, and then they start using the tools to work on healing themselves. And when you're in the midst of healing something within yourself, you don't really have time to think about, you know, which team you want to be on just yet. Like, it takes a moment for that to build, right? And so then that's our nurturing time with those people. And you're those people. So in this moment, I want to invite Pat Moore up, and I've asked her to come up. She's the second board president in the history of this church, and she was here during that time that I talked about, and I asked her if she would come share some thoughts and stories about the early days of this church and the early members. Thank you, Pat Moore.
Good morning, Unity in Greensboro. I am told that in the 1970s, there were 3 small groups that met in homes: a home in Greensboro, a home in Kernersville, and a home in Winston-Salem. And those 3 groups of Unity faithful people held in mind, because they knew that the mind was the builder and the physical was the result. They were holding in mind that there would be someday a unity church in this area. Now, you know where it began, and you are the physical of that result. You want to hear a little bit what happened in between? In about 1980, these three groups came together to form Unity of the Golden Triad in Kernersville. They were there for several years. And when they had met their purpose, that's unity speak for when they broke up. Or as we would say in the Southern Baptist Church, we don't divide, we multiply. We multiplied from Unity of the Golden Triad in Kernersville. A group went to form Unity in Winston-Salem, and a group came here to form Unity in Greensboro. That group sat around, I am told, the kitchen table of Jean and Liz Armstrong. Even Jean and Liz can't remember who sat there that day. I'm thinking it may have been David and Pam Vanderloop, because David was the first board president. It may have been Richard and Pam Atkinson. They were the first music directors. Victor Times could have been there. A woman by the name of Amy Ramsey could have been there. A whole host of folks. But they called the first unity minister for Unity in Greensboro. It was Reverend Don Allen. He came out of Wisconsin, of all places. The first unity message given by a unity minister in Greensboro, to my knowledge, was on February the 1st, 1988. That first group was called Church of Today. We met in a motel room. I think it was the Howard Johnsons off of Interstate 40. You know, there's a lot of hotel rooms. I think it was there. Before moving to a storefront on Spring Garden Street. Now, on Spring Garden Street, somebody had to come early because you could not have heat and air and also talk to each other in here. We had to turn on the air and be frozen when you walk in, and by the time somebody was sweating, you did your peace song. The reverse was true. The reverse was true in the winter. You were burning up when you started and freezing when we left. That's the only way we could hear each other. But sadly, Reverend Allen died while we were there from a brain tumor in May of 1994. It was shortly after that, because there was a study group meeting in Graham. They came calling and they said, why don't you dissolve Unity, your Church of Today, Unity, and come join us, and we'll all meet together in Burlington. I remember that Sunday morning vote like it was yesterday, because I was just the newly elected board president, and it was the first official act I had to do was to see if we were going to dissolve or not. The vote was 13-13. And I looked at Jean Armstrong and I said, Jean, what do we do? And Jean Armstrong in his wisdom said, those who feel called and need to go to the Graham Unity congregation, we bless them and they go. But we asked if we were going to dissolve, and we did not vote to dissolve. So we will be Unity in Greensboro. I believe that was the first time the seed was planted that we changed our name from Church of Today to Unity in Greensboro, because we didn't want to be Unity of Greensboro. We wanted our name to be also our affirmation. Shortly thereafter, we moved to a building on Inman Road that was owned by the airport. Now, Sunday mornings were quite a treat. 2 or 3 times every Sunday, a plane would either come or go. Just like the heat and air on Spring Garden, we had to stop and wait. We became the most prayed over church in the country. When we arrived there, we ordered on faith 100 new chairs. Yeah. And we were ready to grow. We put up signs, you know, We talked about forming, some kind of organizational structure, some kind of marketing plan. But it was Mary Margaret Daughtridge, one of those first early members, who said, "Excuse me, what is the law of increase in unity? What is the law of increase?" And she said, "The law of increase is tithing. Whatever you want more of in your life, you give it away. You want more money, you tithe money. You want more joy, give joy. You want more love, give love." What do we want? We wanted more like-minded people. We wanted people to come join us. So we, instead of planning a marketing campaign, we did a 6-week campaign called Tithing Our People. And for 6 solid weeks, we sent a carload of people every Sunday morning. Carload, one Sunday went to Raleigh, another Sunday they went to Charlotte, another went to Asheville. We sent a carload to Graham. We tithed our people. We tithed our children, our musicians, our ushers, our board members. And you know what? I don't know the time frame, but all I know, as the months passed, that 100 chairs were not enough. We needed to bring 20 or 30. You remember those old brown chairs we used to have in Unity? We had to set out 30 of those old brown chairs because we could not hold the people who came. But it wasn't just that principle. You understand, those original study members, those original people who met in groups, they only cared about principle. I remember one board meeting, we had something that came before the board. It was about timely paying of our bills. We had the money, we just weren't paying them on time, and we had late fees. And once again, Gene Armstrong spoke up before the board could say a word. He said, "What is the principle that we need to look at first?" And then he simply said, "The principle is as above, so below." We are the highest energy in this church. We didn't have a minister. And therefore, the energy that we hold as a board is being outpictured in this church. And Gene Armstrong had every one of us go around that table, and we had to talk about how we handled our own money. Did we pay our bills on time? How did we see money as energy? And then we had a little moment of meditation, and he said, "Who knows what to do?" One of the members raised their hand, and Gene said, "Tell us next month what happened." Because we weren't worried about the problem or the solution until we knew what the spiritual principle was that we needed to work from. This is your foundation, people. This is your foundation. You see, those early members did not care about bylaws and organizational structure. They only worked from principle. The one that I enjoyed the most was a woman called Amy Ramsey. Amy Ramsey was this tall, gorgeous, powerful black woman. Wally, I still say I want to grow up to be like Amy, and I was at her funeral. I want to be like Amy. And one day, she intimidated me just a little, be honest with you. But I walked up to Amy, and I hugged her, and I said, "Amy, I love you." And she took her hands and pushed me back, and she said, "Of course you do. You have to love me." I thought, my Lord, who have I got a hold of now? And she looked at me, and she said, "Pat, remember, you came from love. You are love. And to love you will return. You can't help yourself. You have to love me." You see, Amy Ramsey was one of those foundational members who didn't just say, "Oh, yes, Pat, I love you too." She taught you why you loved her. Because unity, we came from love. We are love. And to love, we return. This is the foundation you stand on today. You see, it's been 36 years since there has been a unity congregation in Greensboro. We have called 8 locations home, and we've been served by 10 ministers. I don't know if there's anyone here who actually was in Howard Johnson's. Yes, Suki. I'm sorry? Embassy Suites. Thank you very much. It was a motel. It was a motel with Reverend Don Allen. Anybody else at that particular time? Who showed up on Spring Garden? Who was at the Spring Garden location? Rod Randolph went there. Yes, Rod was there, absolutely.
I remember a woman there when I came. I only came a couple times because I was out of town.
We've had a lot of ministers who came to us, yes. How many people actually came to Unity for the first time on Inman Road? Yes. Either before, we were probably without a minister for about 3 years after Don Allen died, and then we called our second minister, Reverend Gloria Cox, on Inman Road. Who joined us on Burgess Road near the airport with Reverend Susan Scott Downs? Yes. Who was at Opal Drive? Yes. Reverend Catherine Klein, the Reverends Bill and Cher Holton, and our interim minister, Reverend Bain Palmer, served us there. Who came to the Girl Scout building off of West Market? Yes. Yes. Reverend Stan McNeese was the minister, and also Reverend Denise Saunders. She was a New Thought Science of Mind minister, and I think she went on to the church building at Pinecroft where Unity met for a while. And then, of course, how many of you have ever been to the Church of the Covenant? When Reverend Bill Turner was here, and now our beautiful Reverend Wally White. You stand on a powerful foundation. And these members will tell you, those powerful members will tell you, meeting places will come and go. Members will come and go. Ministers will come and go. But there will always be a need for, in my experience, at least 13 people to stand and say, we will be Unity in Greensboro. And I am so excited today to see that this congregation has said, we will be Unity in Greensboro. You stand on a mighty foundation. And those who held you in mind, even from the grave, are saying thank you for being the physical reality of what they saw in the 70s. God bless you. Namaste.
God bless you. It took me almost 5 years, but I got Pat up to the microphone. I think I asked her the very first time I met her. All right, so I want to do a little exercise for 5 minutes. We're going to play some music from Nancy Pitkin, who most of you know because she visits us now, but she is one of the past music directors of this church. And during that time, I want you to share with whoever you're at the table with. You got 5 minutes, so you do your own math because there'll be a different number of people. To share, excuse me, share either when you first came, what hooked you to Unity, why you're coming now, just something about your past with Unity that you want to share with who you're at a table with. All right, you ready? Time's ticking, and there's going to be a video up. And for the people that are virtual, I'm going to hop online and join the conversation. I ask you to type it in there as well. If you can start wrapping it up in the next 30 seconds or so. You can keep going. Okay, if we can bring our attention back into the fullness of the church space. And we can keep on sharing stories later. I will tell you all, you may have noticed, and you're like, oh, well, I'm already a member. I don't need that. We put, Miranda created these cards with QR codes, and a couple of people have filled them out since church started. I know because I get an email every time it happens. And it buzzes. I'm like, who's texting me? Anyway, on the other side, we're going to be having a new home meeting about the church, about where we're going to be looking to move and all that kind of stuff immediately after service. There is a questionnaire for that on the back side of that same card. And if you can't stay for the meeting, please use that QR code and fill it out. We'll also get it in the e-blast this coming week. But if you can go ahead and fill it out today, that would be helpful, and we'll talk more about that later as well. All right. Yes, that's next up, Suki. Suki's like, it's time to take up money. All right. So I conclude the service by saying, I love you, I bless you, and I behold the Christ that absolutely is you. And now I'll invite up the person to do the offertory invitation. Me. Okay, so this is our time to share. This is the time. There are wonderful things that we do here that requires financing. As you know, that we're looking for a new home. We would love to buy something. We also have people talk about, well, it's hard to get people excited about, paying the insurance bill or paying me. So the phone, all that stuff. If you can find some excitement of, we get to keep everything going. This, the business part of the church is what keeps the spiritual part available to us in this way. And so this is your opportunity to give. And I also invite you, whether you do this extra challenge towards the church or somewhere else, if you look at what you think your percentage is, where you are in tithing versus love offering, meaning where you are in 10% of giving, I invite you to just I recognize that you're all giving at the comfort level of exactly where you are, and that's what you can give. So I'm not one that's ever going to say reach deeper in your pocket, but I'm going to invite you to take the challenge of looking at what you give and see if you've got 1% more to give somewhere where you feel like you are spiritually fed, whether that be us, whether that be some charity organization in Greensboro, whether that be your favorite author that, really has benefited your life. Just give yourself the challenge of saying, I have enough. I am enough. I have enough. I'm going to give this 1% more this 1 month. Of course, if you do it this month, you got 1 week left. But anyway, let us all join together in the affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. And so it is. All right. I think Maria's got some announcements. No, we're running.
Okay. So we already talked about the home search, UIG members joining after the service for the new home search. He already discussed that. New faces. Looks like everybody's family here. Letting Go and Embracing Change with Ellie McFalls is going to be held this Wednesday, August 28th at 6:30 p.m. via Zoom only. September's a big month. The UMass Fall Retreat will take place at Lake Junaluska in the North Carolina mountains, September 17th through the 20th. There's a flyer in the hallway for more information, or you can visit unityretreat.us. And then Eddie Watkins Jr. I think I've seen some flyers around, so please take some flyers with you and help us have a sellout show. The concert's going to be September 21st, so start thinking about ways for us to spread the word and sell lots and lots and lots of tickets. I'm sure Miranda's posting it on social media, so when you see that on social media, share with all your friends. That's how it spreads, like wildfire. Let our chaplains pray with you. Do you have something more? I think Charlotte has something to say. Let our chaplains pray with you after service. They would love to discuss whatever you're growing through, several private spaces. And Charlotte Lehecka. And then Anita. So I'm going to go ahead and announce Anita now.
This will just be quick, but in your flyers, you should see this Unity World Day of Prayer schedule. And I have been going around and, before the service started, I was going around passing out a sign-up sheet because during and it's over there right now. So if anybody hasn't seen it and wants to sign up, please do for our 24-hour prayer vigil that we have every year, in which we this we have the schedule. So you're looking at the schedule of events, which will be the 11th and 12th, and then on the back side is a prayer that we use for the very last 9 to 10 on Wednesday evening, and you are also welcome to use this prayer or any prayer that you choose for the hour that you commit to during the 24-hour prayer vigil. Thank you. So just we'll be announcing this more, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention today, especially since I was going around getting people to sign up already. Thanks.
Okay, we're going to sing my favorite Unity song today, and I hope that it's yours by the end of this time. I'd like you to stand up. I passed out lyrics, and if you don't have lyrics and you want to sing, find somebody that's got them and look over their shoulder. The name of the song is Amazing Things, and it's written by Jana Stanfield, and it's performed the best by Michael Gott. So we're going to do it like he does it. Yeah. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. You will do amazing things with the choice each new day brings. And with every step you take, bless the progress that you make. The reason you live is there in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. All the places you will go and the people you will know. Don't worry when or where or how. You don't need to know that now. You're on the right track. No need to look ahead or back. Just enjoy what this day brings. You'll do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. You don't have to think aloud. Just stay in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes deepest answers come when you're out there having fun. So close your eyes, take a breath, and smile. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. You sounded beautiful.
All right, while y'all are in that mood, I'm going to invite you to actually just do a little bit more a cappella, and we're going to switch it from you to I, right? Amazing, amazing. I will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. I will do amazing things. Now we. Amazing, amazing. We will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. We will do amazing things. I'm looking out at wonderful, amazing people. I won't call you a thing, but amazing people. All right, so thank you all for being here today. If you can't stay for the meeting after, please do hit that QR code. If you don't want to do it electronically and you really want a hard copy piece of paper, if you could throw your hand up right now, Miranda will get some printed real quick. Does anybody need a hard copy piece of paper? I need one. I need two. Three. Oh, we're taking 4. Or do I have 5? Oh, I have 5.
Going.
All right. Just 10. We'll take 10.
Yes.
We'll take 10. All right. And next week, our lesson is on the power of silence. I won't tell you that I first learned an 8th grade substitute teacher taught me the saying, silence is golden, so shut up and get rich, because she just wanted our class to be quiet. But there is a great power in it. And our musical guest next Sunday is our very own Chris Rochelle.
Yay!
Chris looked surprised by that, but he accepted that date a long time ago. All right. So let's, I invite you to sing the peace song real quick. We're going to wrap up. And the peace song, if you can hold hands if you want. Or Linda, are you playing that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just waiting.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And together let us affirm, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, love is, peace is, light is, God is, and all is well. Have a great week on purpose. If you're staying for the meeting, please we'd like to do that as soon as possible. We'll count afterwards. If you can't stay, if you'll give a quick hug, love, and slip on out so we can start within just a few minutes would be lovely.